Big game in the NBA tomorrow. Luka Doncic facing his former team for the first time when the Lakers host the Mavericks. Dallas obviously is not going to have their half of the deal. Anthony Davis is still sidelined. And Luka is coming off a huge game, scoring 32 points in LA's rout of their nemesis, the Nuggets, on Saturday, as Lakers reporter Dave McMenamin joins us now. That Luka LeBron show just looked terrific in Denver. Now they bring it back home, Dave. So what are they saying about Luka and all the emotion, everything that goes into facing his former team?
Yeah, Hannah, the Lakers tried to have it be life as normal as possible on Monday. They had a practice. JJ Redick said that they went through situation bombs, he called them, late game, how they would approach different types of defenses, approach different types of offenses. He said they'd be doing that whether Luka Doncic was on the team at this stage of the season or not. But obviously, the elephant in the room is the game against the Mavericks tomorrow. Max Christie returning, Anthony Davis returning, even though he won't be on the court. And Luka's teammates and members of the Lakers are anticipating it for him just as much as he is.
I think he'll be fine. He's every day that he's been with us, it's becoming just a little bit more normal. I've been there, like the first time you play your old team, particularly this close in time duration. It's going to be weird, but he'll be able to handle it.
I think he's going to be excited, but everybody in the locker room is excited. We got his back. It's going to be a hard-fought game. I know J. Kidd going to have them ready to come in and compete, so we just got to match the intensity.
So really, Hannah, this is really about playing a good team, not necessarily playing the Mavericks and all the baggage and emotional atmosphere that comes with that. It's another good team, and the Lakers have been doing quite well against good teams as of late. They've won 7 straight against teams with above 500 records. They want to keep that momentum headed towards the postseason.
It's probably good that Luka and LeBron had such a good game the other night, giving him confidence going into this one, maybe taking a little bit of that pressure off. But it's not just another game, Dave. Come on. They can say it, but it's not.
For sure.
Dave.
At practice this afternoon, getting ready for a big matchup tomorrow, facing the Mavericks on Tuesday at Crypto.com Arena. It'll be the first time the Mavs and the Lakers play each other since this enormous trade. And moments ago, JJ Redick, he spoke with reporters about his new star and how he's approaching this game.
I think he'll be fine. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. He's every day that he's been with us, it's becoming just a little bit more normal. I've been there, like the first time you play your old team, particularly this close in time duration. It's going to be weird, but he'll be able to handle it.
So the Lakers, they are 7.5-point favorites tomorrow against Dallas. Luka's over-under points line, it's been set at 30.5 in his first meeting against his former team. It's a little bit of a bummer, though. No Anthony Davis in this one as he continues to rehab from that left adductor strained legs. What's your expectation, though, for Luka in this matchup? Because I think he's got this one circled.
Yeah, he definitely has it circled, but unfortunately for him, it is happening too soon, right? So, because he had a great game on Saturday, but he's certainly not ready to do that, I don't think, consistently. That's going to take a little bit more time. That one in April, going to Dallas, obviously that's the big one he's going to be looking at, but he'd love to torch them. There's no question in my mind in this game on Tuesday. He would love to be able to put up numbers and talk to them the entire time and just have a blast out there. I just don't know if he's quite physically ready to do that yet, so we might have to wait until that visit to Dallas in April, and by then it'll be real spicy because they'll probably have Anthony Davis playing. So that's the one we're all going to be waiting for.
What do you think Luka would say if he heard his over-under was only 30.5?
He said, watch me.
Yeah.
Say less.
I mean, look.
Yeah, but he wants 60. He wants 60, though.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, first half, look, sometimes you have bad shooting nights. You can't predict that. Luka just had his best game. I think he's comfortable. He's going to have some a day off here. I think he's going for the kill tomorrow. That's what I don't know what will happen, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be very interesting to see Dallas and how they respond to this. They've heard I just would love to see Anthony Davis be playing. It sucks that he's not playing, but I do think they're going to be motivated. I don't comment on spreads, but I think Dallas will be competitive.
Right. I think Luka coming off of his best game in a Lakers uniform, he is getting ready at the right time. This game means something to him, and I do think that we are going to see that effort on the floor here. It's been over 3 weeks since you blew up all of our nights reporting this trade, Shams. It's kind of hard to believe that this trade was already 3 weeks ago. The Lakers find themselves in 4th in the West, only 2 games out from. I love that look inside the locker room because you can see, I mean, JJ, he's a self-proclaimed basketball sicko saying that he can't take a nap. He's envisioning this. But, Tim, it worked, and it has worked for the Lakers since January 15th. They've been the best team in the NBA. Why is that?
Well, I think, look, number one, he has ideas, right? He always has. He had them for years before he took any job, but now he's able to implement them, and he's got certain ways to see the game. But here's the thing that I think has surprised us about this team. It was their ability to come up with game plans that are this effective defensively and pull it off based on what their personnel looks like. That, I think, is what was a little bit eye-opening. And here's an example. It starts here, impeding any sort of cut. Don't make it easy for him to move. Then on the weak side, you got another bump here so he can't just roll into the post. Let's go ahead, and that initial defender, he's run all the way to the other side of the court where you got a front and you've got a guy behind. Now, look, the spacing's not great, and these guys aren't looking at the rim. But here's the final opportunity. Is Jokic going to flash there and get the ball? Look at the play by Jackson Hayes. Always aware. Aaron Gordon not looking at the rim helps out the Lakers, but bottom line is you can see Jokic, he starts to show a little bit of body language there on this possession. It's frustrating being bottled up to that extent. Takes incredible amount of dedication to it and attention to detail. Like any mistakes made against him, he's going to get position leverage and he's going to score easily. They didn't make those mistakes, and you barely noticed Nikola Jokic involved in the game offensively, and I can't even believe I'm saying that sentence.
First off, I'd like to commend the Lakers social team with the low-angle hero shot. JJ, Ridley Scott.
It did give me a little bit of the Court of Gold vibes of
without question. Beautiful job done. Victories all around. Secondly, you mentioned their best record since January 15th.
Yes.
They've been the #1 defense since January 15th, and this, Malika, is what has my attention. 2 years ago, when the Lakers made that run to the Western Conference Finals, the indicator on that they were going to make a run was that they were the #1 defensive team in the NBA after they made those trade deadline deals.
Right.
I cannot believe that they are playing this well defensively with being so small in the middle. Now, they have great size on the perimeter, and J.J. Redick is employing a scheme that is using that size. Now, I have to see how the teams in the league react to this because they're seeing some new stuff from the Lakers, and they'll adjust. If this was a playoff series with the Nuggets, we would see an adjustment for Game 2 with Jokic.
So good at. That's what JJ is so good at.
What has my attention isn't so much Luka. I know Luka is great. I know he's going to score. What has my attention is how they're defending, and the stat that sticks out to me from that game. Nikola Jokic only got 7 shots. He only was able to take 7 shots.
It was his worst offensive game of the season.
Remarkable.
To me, JJ Redick and that Luka Doncic relationship and how they're able to have fun. And JJ Redick is probably the only coach that's able to really rib on Luka Doncic on a daily basis about defense and needing to see more defense out of Luka Doncic. Last night, season high, 4 steals. That's what I'm looking at. Their defensive efficiency, maybe the first game, they struggled with Luka Doncic there, but I think the more he gets his rhythm, the more he gets his repetition, this Lakers team is looking like it has the ability to be very competitive in the West.
As Tim was breaking down that film, though, the amount of effort that takes on every single play to contain Nikola Jokic, and in a 7-game series, the adjustments that are going to be made. I think last night represents getting over some sort of boogeyman for the Los Angeles Lakers, but the sustainability of that effort, that's going to be the question. It's not just the relationship, though, that JJ has with Luka Doncic. It's also the relationship LeBron has with Luka. Here's LeBron on just that.
I'm a natural-born wide receiver, and he's a natural-born quarterback, so it fits perfectly. I've been running the floor and running lanes pretty much my whole life, and he's been throwing great passes pretty much his whole life. So it's not hard to get a rhythm when it comes to that. It's just all about eye contact and him being a great quarterback like he is, and me being the recipient of it. So.
Okay, so let's dive into that a little bit more, shall we? The Lakers, they specifically put the ball in Luka's hands on Saturday. According to Second Spectrum, Doncic has an average touch length of 5.6 seconds. That's up from 3.4 seconds in his first 3 games with the Lakers. That's also his second highest average touch length in a game this season. And for anyone at home who's sort of glazing over these numbers just a little bit and saying, okay, what does all of that mean, Brian? How much does LeBron view running the offense through Luka as a benefit here?
It's not just a benefit, it's a necessity.
Okay.
Luka is not built to play off the ball. LeBron can play off the ball. Austin Reeves can play off the ball. It's not ideal. Austin Reeves is better on the ball, so they're going to have segments of the game where he gets to run things. But for them to maximize their team, the ball's got to be in Luka's hands. This is the 25-year-old who's one of the most elite scorers in the history of the league. He got to that level by having the ball in his hands. I figured that they were going to get to this point no matter what. I just didn't think it would come this fast. They have delivered the message now. And look, you want to get into LeBron's heart, help him get easy baskets. He spent the last 6 years with the Lakers largely having to create his own shots. Luka will get LeBron easy baskets. That means LeBron will let Luka cook with the ball.
So you say it's a necessity, but it's also a necessity, right, Legs? Help me make sense of this, because you can't really reverse it. It can't be LeBron who is doing the cutting. Explain.
That's exactly right. Listen, when you have two guys that operate this way offensively, it's only going to work if one of those guys is willing to cut off the ball on the weak side of the floor, or at least be a threat to do it, and run the floor. That's not Luka. He's not going to move without the ball in terms of making cuts and weak side slashing. He just doesn't do that, and he's not going to run the floor and get out ahead of the pack where he can take advanced passes. So it's just natural that Luka is the guy that's going to orchestrate and control, and LeBron James is willing, certainly, as he said it, he's going to like getting some of these easy baskets in the open floor as much as he has to work to score normally. But the other thing is, in the half court, LeBron, just the threat of him on the weak side, it makes you defensively have to keep an eye on him and turn and see where he is, and it occupies you. That allows Luka Doncic to go initiate the original action on the strong side. If Luka's over there, you don't have to worry about it as much until the ball is swung to him, because he is not going to face cut you, catch it in the lane, and finish. LeBron will do those things, and that's why it's just natural for him to be off the basketball, and I think they came to that conclusion pretty quickly.
And figuring all of that out against the boogeyman for the Lakers, the Denver Nuggets, ahead of their first game against Luka's former team, the Dallas Mavericks, all of this coming together, it couldn't be a more perfect time